So we are starting with the next session now, which is again extremely critical considering that this is a franchisee model that we are proposing, which is how do we maintain quality standards on processed foods and on the packaging aspects of this. So for that, we are very fortunate to have Mr. Ponkumar of the Indian Institute of Packaging. Sir, please have a seat, who's currently pursuing his PhD at IIT Madras. We have Mr. S. Pandiyaraja of FSSAI. Sir, please have a seat. Dr. V. Arun Giridhari, sir. Please, or even there, sir. And finally, to chair this, we have Dr. Gagandeep Kang, ma'am. Ma'am, over to you.
So thank you. As you said, an important session. So let's get started. We are going to have two presentations, and I will ask the presenters to stick to time. Dr. Pandiyaraja, you're going first?
Yeah, my slides are there. Respected Professor, respected Madam, and my dear participants, good morning to all of you. Now I'm S. Pandiyaraja, Joint Director from Food Safety Standard Authority of India, Food Import Office, Tuticorin. And now I am going to deal about the Food Safety Standards Act and regulations on fruit and vegetable products. So now the topic is zero wastage dream. So the wastage, what is the role of Food Safety Standards Act in wastage to valuable? That is the thing. What is the role of FSS Act and regulations? That is the thing I am going to give presentation now. I will go fast because I have been told to complete the presentation within 10 minutes. That is very difficult for me, but anyhow, as I will go as per the agenda, and I will, up to particular slide, I will go and stop. After that, I will, based on the discussion, I will proceed further. Okay, so now we will go the presentation. Next. So, Food Safety Standard Authority of India, FSSAI, it is the apex food safety regulator of the country. The main objective of the FSSAI is laying down the science-based standards for food and regulating the complete food supply chain. And the main important thing is ensuring safe and wholesome food for the human consumption. This is the main objective of the Food Safety Standards Act and regulations. Next. So first of all, we will talk about what is the definition of food. The food is any substance, solid, liquid or gas form, whether it may be processed, partially processed, unprocessed, and it is intended for human consumption. This is number one. And any substance used in manufacturing, for example, anything you are using in any additive used in manufacturing of food is also coming under the definition of food. For example, all food additives are coming under the definition of food. And primary food, this is defined as per the section 3.1.j, which includes primary food. Primary food is our topic now. So primary food is, this is defined 3.1.ezk of FSS Act. So this is the main important point here. The primary food, as per this definition, is covered under the definition of food. Next. So what is primary food? Primary food is any produce of agriculture, horticulture, dairying, animal husbandry, and produce of aquaculture in its natural form in the hands of farmer hands of person other than farmer. So any agriculture produce which is not in the hands of farmer is coming under the definition of primary food. That primary food is covered under the definition of food. So this is the main important thing. Next. So which is not food? Any animal feed. Actually, Food Safety Standards Act is going to be amended. The animal feed is also going to be included in the definition of food. And it is live animal is not a food. And primary food in the hands of farmer. Important, I am repeating, primary food in the hands of farmer is not defined as a food. Next. So what is the food business? So this is the beginning point, farmer and consumer. In between, whoever is there, manufacturer, relabeler, repacker, transporter, wholesaler, distributor, retailer, e-commerce, importer, everybody is coming under the definition of food business. So everybody shall have to obtain the FSSAI license and they have to comply as per the regulations. Next. So why this FSS Act is coming here? Because the raw agricultural produces is converted into, it may be sold as a raw or fresh, processed products, value added products, innovative products, whatever may be. It is reaching the consumer. When it is reaching the consumer, the end products shall be in compliance with the regulations. That is very, very important. So any agricultural commodity shall be converted to, for value addition, shall be converted to all these products. That product shall be in compliance with the regulations. So this is where the FSS Act and regulations present here. Next. So for example, this is the banana. Banana is converted into several products: ice cream, composite bread, banana muffins, and spaghetti, chips, several products. So all these products, the way, avoiding the waste, no wastage, and all these valuable products are made. So next, when these products are converted to this value order products, then the regulation will be applicable. So now I have made, this is a, I have made a short of all regulations, including together I have made in this slide. So this is the center point is raw agricultural producers. First of all, see, from beginning, the objective of this brainstorming session is 10x model. 10x model means the income of the farmer is 10 times made. So how it can be achieved? How it can be achieved? This is the way the regulation is giving. Means the raw agriculture producers, first of all, it can be processed and converted into products. The products may be in food safety standard, food product standard, food additive regulation. There are 63 group of products. All are standardized product. So this is the number one. And the products can be sold as an ingredient itself, directly as an ingredient also, and additives also. For example, colors, flavors. Colors can be extracted, flavors can be extracted. This can be example for additives. So by this way, standardized product can be manufactured. This is number one. And number two is, so the 63 group of products is covering almost all standardized product made from the fruit and vegetable products. So apart from this, if any innovation comes, any new product anybody wants to develop, so for that, the property food regulation will be applicable. So property food is defined regulation number 2.12 of the same food product standard food additive regulation. This regulation is giving the wider opportunity, and it is a space for all innovations. So any new product can be developed by property food, apart from this 63 group of products. So this shall comply with the ingredient additives for the property food shall be from the present regulations only. That is the important thing. And down here, research. But suppose new introduction into the country, new products are going to be developed, which is not at all available in our country, completely new introduction. In that case, this food safety standard, NSF, non-specified food regulations will be applicable. So under this regulation, the product has to be approved by the food authority. So this is a property food, standardized food, property food, and new introduction. This is one angle. And value addition. For example, health supplement, the food safety standard, health supplement nutraceutical regulations is there. So it was introduced in 2018, and recently it is amended also. This is the health supplement nutraceutical regulation. So this regulation is dealing about the health supplement, nutraceutical, food for special dietary purpose, food for special medical purpose, and prebiotic, probiotic food. So 5 important categories it is covering. And this for your kind information, this regulation is having 439 number of botanicals permitted list in this regulation. So we are always, whenever we are going for any farmer, that village processing centers, we are talking about the village processing centers, we are talking about these all jam, jelly, squash, sharbat, all are regular traditional products. So one thing I want to tell, see, all these products are already available in our country. So we have to give some new introduction to the consumer, because our country is not like a Europe or USA where the processed packeted foods are consumed more. Our country is a country where plenty of agricultural fresh producers are available. So the consumer preference. So when 10x is going to be achieved, we need some new things. We need the new items which consumer can prefer. So unless and until consumer is preferring, accordingly the producers are made, and it is the technology is available and regulation is available, then new products will be coming. Then the new products will be consumed by the consumer. Then only it will be giving a market value addition. Ultimately, the main objective, the farmer will get the income. So instead of thinking about all this, I am talking about 63 group of products, that is also not covered. So among the, in general market, among the 63 group of products, there are 10 products, 20 products only covered. The remaining 43 products are not covered, not at all available in the market. So what I am telling, instead of thinking about the traditional items under the standardized food, we shall think about the property food and all this value addition. Nutraceutical, say in health supplement, I have told you 439 botanical herbal ingredients are available. It is permitted list. So we have to give, the farmer shall be the raw material supplier for this manufacturing. This is one of the value addition. And FSS having food safety and standard fortified food regulation. Fortification of food. This is also important regulation. Recently it has been developed. At present, this fortification is mandatory for 5 staple food only. Milk, oil, fat, milk, oil, and rice, wheat, salt. So this now the regulation has been amended so that processed food is also included. So we can, under this food safety standard fortification of food regulation, we can manufacture fortified fruit juice. So when one person is seeing about orange juice and fortified orange juice, the consumer, nowadays the awareness among the consumer in the town market is also increasing. So it is fortified food. We are not at all going to anywhere outside. So it is naturally available. Moreover, it is a value added product. So fortified fruit juice. So in that angle, we have to think. Leaving about, traditional we have to keep. In the same time, this type of fortified food regulation also we have to think. And organic food. So food safety standard organic food regulation was introduced. Now it is coming into effect. And the thing is, under this organic food regulation, there are 2 standards, NPOP and PGS. If any person is having this certification, NPOP and PGS, then the organic food will be certified by the FSSAI. So FSSAI can endorse that organic food certification. For these things, the small original manufacturer who is directly selling to the end consumer, these 2 certification is exempted. So authority has made the amendment by exempting. So by this way, the small level persons who is involved in organic food production can be covered. So this is one of the value addition. And down here, food safety standard Ayurveda Ahara regulation. This is the new regulation. In FSS, this regulation is having 49 number of listed textbooks, Ayurvedic textbooks. So the menu will be prepared based on the menu mentioned in the particular textbooks. So these Ayurveda Ahara regulations, if any food producer is manufacturing food as per this regulation, he will be certified as Ayurvedic food. So there is a logo. I am having slide for every small slide. I am having a description slide. But due to the time concern, I am stopping with it, and at the time of discussion, I will show you. And at the same thing, like vegan food regulation, food safety standard vegan food regulation. So these raw agricultural commodities are not directly cannot be considered as a vegan food if it is used with minimal processing or directly used. But the same thing if it is used with the another additives or ingredients, then that if it is fulfilling the vegan food regulation, that can be claimed. The claim can be made. So nowadays, why the regulations are made means when there is a demand, when the new market things are coming into the picture, so these regulations are made. Authority cannot watch somebody selling vegan food, Ayurveda, Agara food, organic food. There shall be a regulation. So that is that made the authority to make all these regulations. This vegan food regulation, Ayurveda, Ahara regulation, organic food regulation, fortified regulation, nutraceutical regulation. And one more thing, this is the export. Why don't we think about the export? Why don't the small farmer from the any Andipatti or small Vadipatti small village, his product can be sold in some other Singapore or Europe? Why don't we think in this? FSSAI is not for the export, but we are issuing the FSSAI license for the export manufacturers. So the thing is, our country is naturally a tropical country where the fresh agricultural commodities are always available. So the consumer preference for the any processed product based on from the raw agricultural commodities will be very less. But the same thing, if it is exported with the value addition, like all I have told, value addition, this can be having the export market. So it is my suggestion that these rural level village processing centers shall have the link or somehow it should be linked with the supply chain of export manufacturers, exporters, so that, and moreover, our diaspora is present in everywhere, all over the country, all over the world. So we have to use that opportunity. So this export also we have to explore it. And another thing, all these things under the FSS regulation, all are coming under the food only. And this another thing is, yes, only one point, madam, non-food. So this RUCO, repurpose used cooking oil. This is one social initiative of FSSAI where it states that the edible oil which is used by the any food business operator in any hotels or restaurants, if he is using more than 50 liters of oil per day, that oil shall not be used repeatedly. So he has to mandatorily register with the agglomerating agencies. So these agencies which are recognized by the authority, FSSAI, they will come and collect the edible oil, repeatedly used oil. That oil will be used for biodiesel manufacturing. So this type of non-food opportunities also we have to think, apart from this food. So this is in short about all my presentation here. So now we will go for any discussion, and if there is any requirement is there, I will go to the individual slide. Thank you.
Thank you. I think that was a great overview. I think what we'll do is we'll have the next presentation and then come to the discussion later.
Yes. Thank you.
So I think while we are waiting for the slides to load, Mr. Pandiyaraja has certainly given us a lot to think about. But, you can't do everything in one day, and I think it will differ very much by products and their seasonal availability and pricing. So we will get to that in the discussion on specific areas, but this might not be the right time to do that. So our next presentation is from Mr. Ponkumar from the Indian Institute of Packaging.
Very good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry for the inconvenience. Myself, Ponkumar, working in Indian Institute of Packaging as a Deputy Director and Regional Officer. So in this session, we will be discussing about the packaging of banana and perishable products. Before that, I'd like just to give you an intro about our institute. Our institute is under Ministry of Commerce and Industry, Government of India. We have multiple centers. These are all centers and these are all our activities. What are the activities we do in the institute? These are all various courses what institute offers. We also have 2-year full-time courses like MSc and postgraduate diploma in packaging, all these courses. And our laboratories are accredited as per the NABL accreditation and ISO certification. Coming back to the topic about packaging. So all of you know what is packaging. Everywhere, whatever we get a product, we get along with the package. We see as the last operation. In any package you take, it's a last and least bothered operation, but that is the activity which is going to seen by the customer in front. Whoever is going to buy a product, he will see the package first. If some package is damaged, we may think that maybe product is not good quality. So that is what is happening. So we should be making a proper packaging. So this is a just simple definition, but whenever you make any packages, read out this definition and confirm you are meeting all this requirement. You should make sure that it should reach to the ultimate consumer in a sound condition at the same time with a minimum overall cost. And coming back to the levels of the packaging, we have multiple levels. A primary package, which is directly touching the product, which is in direct contact with the product, and the secondary package, which holds the primary package, and the tertiary or third level package, which will be a unit load or a shipper or whatever you can say. In other way, we have multiple levels. If you talk about some other product, it may have 4 levels. If you talk about some puree, tomato puree or any product, you wanted to send it to another customer in a bulk form, in that case, you may be using a 210 liter capacity or 60 liter capacity plastic drums. In that case, we don't have so many levels. We'll be having a single bulk packages. So, in a nutshell, we are using, these are the packaging materials in nowadays it has been used. One is a paper, board, plastic, glass, wood and metal based packaging materials. So when we talk about food packaging, we should understand that it should meet all these desired properties. Like it should be safe and should be non-toxic, hygienic, easy to open and reseal. Suppose if you give a product to a consumer that even we had an example of opening the tomato ketchup, we need to give a scissor to cut it, right? So if we have something easy to reseal in case if it is to be multiple times used, then the product has to be given with a proper opening and reseal option. It should be attractive, then only people will buy. If you take any kid to the supermarket, you will find that how they are choosing the packages, they are choosing the products. At the same time, it should be economically viable. The packaging should be economically viable and strong enough to carry the products. Suppose if you talk about tomatoes or any other perishable products, if you keep it in a vehicle and then closed, when it is transported, and suddenly if rain comes, somebody wants to cover it, he may climb up to the box. He may climb into the box. So you will find the bottommost box which will be crushed out. So you have to make sure it is strong enough to carry the entire product and possibly biodegradable and recyclable and odorless. It should not have any smell. If you see some of the examples of the products, we can say if it is a raw products, you can see we can use the wooden crates or plastic crates, plastic film to cover it up, or corrugated fiber board boxes. And Indian Institute of Packaging, we worked close with APIDA, and we have developed so many corrugated fiber board boxes, consumer packs, and export packs for various fruits and vegetables. So those details are already available in the APIDA side as a packaging standards. And if you talk about primary packaging of some of the products, you can say we may get it in the laminated plastic pouches in this way, or a Tetra Pak like this, or you may get a plastic bottle or a glass bottle or stand-up pouches. Some of the examples of the products, if you think about banana, you may get a film wrapping or placed in a carton boxes when you are doing the export. And there is a kind of a material it is available nowadays. It is kind of ethylene absorbers. So what will happen is like when the fruits is getting ripened, then it may emit some gases. So ethylene, if you have a ethylene absorber, the ripening speed can be reduced. And banana products, you have various products like the chips packets. You see the various ranges of the similar product packages. So what will happen is like if you are having only one layer of plastic material wrapped out with this, then it may start absorbing the moisture, then shelf life of the product may go down. So if we have a multi-layer structure with the nitrogen flushing will create an inert atmospheric in the pouch itself. So the shelf life of a product can be extended. Again, to attract the consumers, you may have a package with the stand-up pouch. And you can have a premium packages with the glass containers, with the metal caps, or the monocarton based materials. This is active packaging which we were discussing about the ethylene absorbers. And then when we talk about standards, there are two different standards for anything. One is a specification, another one is a method. Specification which helps you to understand what is the requirement. If I say cotton boxes, what is the dimension of the cotton boxes, what is the maximum load it can withstand, what level of moisture absorber it should have. So that is what is the specification, and how to measure it, that we can see in the method standard. So there are multiple standards are there, but what we follow here is the Indian standard as per BIS. These are some of the standards which is available for the fruits and vegetables, existing standards. Let's say this is 15532. This is a plastic crate. Suppose if you wish to use the plastic crates for export of fruits and vegetables, then we may have to follow this standard. What is the material is being used, what sort of colorant is added into that, and what is the migration limits, what is a hazardous material should not present, what is the limits of hazardous material, everything is given in this. And if you are going to use the woven sacks for the fruits and vegetables, this standard is to be followed. And in case if you are thinking about returnable wooden crates, what we had seen in the previous pictures, then you may have to follow the IS 7698. This is how we have various standards listed down in BIS specification. And if you are talking about canned tomatoes specification, that is a standard. Tomatoes guide to cold storage, refrigerated transport, glass bottles. If you must have seen that glass bottles which is being used for tomato ketchup, then we can use the standard. This is as per the FSSAI regulation. As per the FSSAI regulation, FSSAI also has these packaging and labeling requirements. Suppose if you say the packaging, if you are using a plastic material as a packaging material for any food applications, then it has to follow these requirements. Suppose we are going to use polyethylene. Low density polyethylene is the innermost layer which is almost used in all the packaging plastic pouches. So that if you are using a LDP as an innermost layer, it has to meet this specification as per IS 10146. Likewise, all other materials details is given here. And when we talk about the testing, how do we confirm whether it is a food grade or not? Various testings are there, but these are all having a general test. Coming back to the main important parameter in food packaging is the migration test. Migration, what is a migration? Suppose if you have water bottle and containing a water and the bottle is capped with some colored, right? So after a certain period of time, what amount of additive or content from the plastic is leached into the product what we are going to consume is called migration. Okay, so the amount of plastic or unreacted monomers or additives or pigments or colorants or printing inks, whatever it is transmitted from the package to the food product is called migration. So we generally do the migration analysis with the help of IS 9845, that is Indian standard IS 9845. So we can take any simulant. We cannot take the food product and then do this analysis. So we can take any of this simulant as per the product requirement. Suppose some products are acidic in nature. In that case, we have to take the acetic acid, the 3% acetic acid, and find out what is the amount of leaching is happening. This is what is given as per the standard. Let's say if you talk about our products like fruit juices, squashes, fruit chunks or puree or paste. These are the, let's say some products which is made out of tomato. Then we have to do the test with the acetic acid. Take the plastic container, fill with the acetic acid which is of 3% volume based. Then expose it at temperature of 40 degrees Celsius for 10 days. Then after that, take it out the liquid and understand how much, and evaporate the liquid and understand how much amount of plastic or any other content is migrated into this food product. So this is what standard says. Then the limitation is 60 mg per liter. I think you had seen in this previous slide, it is 60 mg per liter. Suppose if you have taken a 1 liter of acetic acid and you find that the migration, leaching is happening more than 60 milligram, it is not a food grade material. It is not to be considered as a food grade material. Apart from that, 60 mg is a limit. But apart from that, another thing is like if you find any color migration, color traces, till this, even the 60 mg is lesser, the value is lesser than 60 mg, but still you have color migration, that is also not acceptable as a food grade material. This is another requirement, or I can say another regulatory requirement that is called ROHS, restriction of hazardous substances. Suppose in any packaging material, maybe a paper or board or corrugated fiber board boxes or plastic, glass, any packaging material you use it for packages of food items, then these regulatory requirement says that ROHS value should be within the limit. Lead, cadmium, arsenic, all this material, as per the standard, they are given some limitation. It should be within the limit. These are the regulatory requirement for the food packaging materials. Okay. As I mentioned that we have already done so many analysis of the corrugated fiberboard boxes. Packaging standards are already available in the site of APIDA. If somebody wish to check what is the, suppose I am exporting some 10 kg of tomato or 15 kg of tomato, what should be the box sizes, what should be the dimensions, what should be the number of ventilation holes to be provided, everything is available in the site. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ponkumar. We will now move to a discussion by Dr. Arun, and then we'll open it up to the group for a broader discussion.
Thank you. First of all, let me introduce Madam, because some of us, we are not aware, Dr. Madam. Actually, she is the famous virologist, and she got, no ma'am, this is very proud moment because she is the first lady. She entered into Royal Society of UK. So just I want to share it with the group. This is a proud moment, okay? And actually, Pandiyaraja did a very nice presentation. I just want to add some more very few points. That is, now FSSAI is opened up for herbal introduction into the foodstuffs. If we look into that indigenous products, let me take only one indigenous product. What we are having, a ghee melting process in our ancient days. Just to check with your grandmas, how we are melting the ghee. During that melting of the ghee, we used to add moringa leaves, we used to add curry leaves, we used to add turmeric, we used to add pepper. So for adding each and every element, it is having its own beneficial effect. But nowadays we are using only the packed ghee, but we can make this kind of indigenous products also because the market is very open. And very recently I have noticed another one indigenous product making vadagam. Vadagam is the very famous and day-to-day eaten food in our South Indian dishes. So if you are adding green leafy extract in the vadagam, that is the very old technique, but now FSSAI is giving large of opportunities to give this kind of emphasis on the herbal introduction into the foodstuffs, and we can claim it the health benefits also. So these are all some of the points, because don't run behind the European model. We can make our own model. That is one point I wish to add here. And apart from that, there are two kind of standards. We can put it in two ways. One is mandatory standards. Our friend is in mandatory standards. Without FSSAI, we cannot sell in even a single vada or tea. We need the FSSAI standard. That is mandatory standard. And apart from that, if you want to pitch your product in the international market, you have to upgrade your brand. Not only the packaging style or the label style. You have to upgrade with the certification process. If you are getting HACCP, your product will be visible to so many customers. If you are getting ISO 22000, if you are getting halal, then only you can enter into the Middle East market. So based on the certification process, we can easily pitch our product and we can easily compete with the international brands. Even if we are manufacturing in our Tamil Nadu, we can easily, the small startups, we can easily fight with the international brands. So this is also another one point I would like to add. So apart from that, a very nice presentation from Mr. Ponkumar and also Mr. Pandiyaraja. If you want to add anything.
Yeah, I am waiting for discussions.
Yeah.
So please. And I want to show these slides. If you run, if the chair is permitting, I will just run it without reading also. So they, by seeing something, they will be getting some ideas so that they can ask some doubts.
Okay, you have 5 minutes
Yeah,
for
5 minutes,
slides.
madam, sufficient.
Okay.
Yeah, please. So, first. It's not working. Huh? So this all I have explained. So this is a food business, you know. So there are 21 regulations. The regulations are listed here. And these 4 are mother regulations for fruit and vegetable products. And this is a license. This is about license schedule 4, which is dealing about the sanitary and hygienic requirements. This is a mandatory requirement. And this is the food product standard food additive regulations. And this is the food categorization. These are what are standardized food products, property food, nutraceuticals, and non-standardized product. I have explained. And these are the 63 group of products what I have explained. So mostly 10 is available in our market. These are all
So why don't you give us an example of a few that are not available in our markets?
But actually, I told, madam, actually these products, for example, colors. Colors mean all processed product colors are used. But natural colors are very least because natural colors is not having that much efficiency to give the market value. So the colors can be used, because that's why artificial colors are used in every processed food. As a regulator, we are having permission for more than 10 colors.
So, as a regulator, please look into the products which are pharmaceutical products. I don't know if doctor is writing, you have to take this cough syrup. We are going to consume it. Without closing our eyes, we will consume it. There is no issue. But unnecessarily, why they are adding synthetic colors even in the pharma products?
Yeah.
And if it is that we know very well, carmosine color is the synthetic color, and some of the colors are already banned in Europe. But still we are using sunset yellow, tartacine and carmosine color.
Actually,
and you said one information that natural colors are not withstanding. That is not correct 100%, because now in Middle East, no need to go Europe. Now in Middle East, all the kids products should use only the natural colors.
yeah.
And also if you are using any synthetic colors in the dairy products, you will be sent to prison. That is the condition in Middle East. But still we people are not aware about the synthetic colors and its
Yeah, actually,
negative effect, because better than us, doctor can give more information regard the synthetic colors and its side effects.
so let me please, madam. Let me add with this. Actually, our colors, our regulation on colors are made on par with the Codex regulations. So whatever internationally permitted, that colors only we are having, and these regulations and these permissions limits are made with after elaborate discussion with scientific panel and scientific committee, everything. So it's already there. What I am telling, since we are talking about the agricultural producers, we change from the consumer mentality, and the availability of the natural colors in the market should be increasing. That is my purpose of telling. It is not like whatever synthetic colors available, if it is used in the permitted limit as per the FSS regulation, it is safe. I have to tell that only. It is safe. Because as per regulation, if they are using, it is permitted. We cannot say that it is not permitted. But the thing is, the awareness among the natural colors shall increase from the consumers. Accordingly, it shall be available in the market. So why all processed food products are going for the artificial colors and artificial flavors? Even biscuit, cheese flavor is available. In every product, if you see the label, definitely there will be artificial colors and flavors. Within the permit, it is permitted. That's why they are adding. Without permission, they will not add. They shall not add. So the thing is, awareness among the consumers shall have to increase. We have to create the awareness, and also the availability shall be made. That is the thing. Please.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Pandiyaraj. So I'd like to now open it up for discussion. Dr. Kanchana?
I think packaging and this quality standard are a very important thing that for the end user and for the processing. See, the first is, it is for both. So in packaging and also in the quality, we just see the labeling. Labeling is missing. So what should be the mandate given in the specification should be given in the labeling, and also the nutrient parameters and other important factors that has to be given in the labeling for different type of products.
Yes. So this point, I will explain.
Hang on. Let me just add to Dr.
I think we are totally moving away from our focus of the seminar. I'm very unhappy with this whole thing. Our focus is how do we make the village level entrepreneur doing the food processing, enable them. These are something that can be given in seminars and all that, not in a workshop. This is not a lecture place. Right from beginning yesterday I've been talking about, we are not here to listen to lectures. We are here to, it's a workshop to work out how do you enable the village entrepreneur to become the food processing and packaging. I would like to specifically talk about technology. What kind of packaging technologies are available? What are the costs associated with the technology? What are the machinery required for technology? Rather than trying to talk about labels and things like that. I'm very unhappy. Yesterday onwards, right from beginning, I said, I do not want this to happen. And this is what is happening.
So, the Professor Ashok, just hang on a minute. So I think we heard some good ideas about what might be potential good value additions that can happen at the ground level. And that relates to the mindset that you can potentially use an approach that builds on traditional systems to add value to products. Now the question comes up, who provides those inputs? And I think if we go back to the diagram that was presented in the morning, where you're talking about the agri-experts, you're talking about the people who provide inputs into what makes a good product. Those are not the farmers, they are the people that the franchisor can bring on board to make sure that this is a business model that will really work. And for that, we need to be able to define a couple of things. What do you expect as a differential when you add value to a product? Is 150% enough? Do you need 300%? You know, we had an example in the morning where they were talking about potentially increasing the value of a product 10 times and failing, right? So I think this is something that will differ by what your starting material is.
I would like to understand the cost involved and
We're coming-
processing
I'm
and
coming
packaging.
to that with questions for Ponkumar. Now, if we look at what can be packaged in what, tomatoes and bananas and onions are not the same thing. You cannot necessarily use the same kind of packaging for different kinds of products, and it also depends on who you are going to be supplying to. You heard the model in the morning. We are talking about franchising at the village level, a village processing center being set up to be able to establish a mechanism to be able to source produce and have a product that can go to different places. What do you think are the models that we can use, and which would be the lowest cost modules for that? And then I'd like to hear from Mr. Pandiyaraja about who you told us about all the regulations. But in that model, who should the FPO, the franchisor, the franchisee be interacting with to make sure that they are adhering to those standards? And again, what are the costs that you incur when you send things for testing?
With regards to the raw food products like tomatoes and other things, we can think about using a wooden-based crates or the corrugated fiberboard boxes, which is coated with proper laminated structure, so that it cannot.
Isn't that for transport rather than
Transport.
for packaging? We are talking packaging, a product made at the village level.
No, suppose if we are talking about the processed food like puree and some other products, then we can use a machine called FFS, Farm Field Seal Machinery, which will be in the cost range between 2 lakh to 30 lakh. Depends upon the what type of machinery you want, whether it is a hand sealer or the semi-automatic machine or fully automatic machine, which we can get it as a farm field seal machine. We can get the laminated materials resourced, then we can make that farm fields, make use of farm field seal machines, then we can pack our products, we can distribute it. Then depends upon the product, the packaging machinery will change.
Any questions, comments?
What is the cost addition due to packaging? If I am getting something, what is the cost contribution to the packaging?
So you told us about the machine, which can be between 2 and 30 lakhs. If I want to pack 5 kilos or 10 kilos of a product, how much does my packaging cost?
It will be up to 2% to 7%.
And will the packaging material be recyclable? I think that this is what we said in the morning yesterday. We want the packaging material to be recyclable. Number two, if the cost is 2% to 7%, it's bearable. If it is even 7%, little high, and more than that is certainly not bearable. And that should be the total cost, including the cost of machinery and usage of it, cost of electricity, everything inclusive. Finally, if I have something, how much does the packaging adds cost? This is important. And what are the different kind of packaging, and can the packaging material be recycled?
Suppose if we think about using some metal-based packaging material, it can be recyclable. Or if you are planning to use a plastic-based material, it is better to use a single material instead of multi-layered packaging materials. If we use multi-layered packaging material, we use a paper. Paper is one of the layer, and aluminum foil is one of the layer, and LDPE is one of the layer. It will be very difficult to reprocess it or reuse it. If we use a like high density polyethylene based container or PET based container, it is easy to recycle it. It is possible, completely it can be recyclable. If we use completely a PET bottle with a high density polyethylene caps, like what we have water bottles, we can see in the rack pickers also they pick up everything because it can be recycled. Whereas if we use a multi-layer structure, like what we see in the turmeric powder, we find the outermost layer PET, middle layer as a metallized PET, another layer is a linear or low density polyethylene materials. This is a combination of structures to gain some barrier properties and other things which cannot be easily recyclable. And people will also not pick up because it is the recycling cost is more than the virgin material producing cost. That is the reason why they don't pick up. So better to go with a single material like plastic material, single material, it is possible to recycle. Or we can go ahead with metal or glass material or corrugated fiberboard boxes, cotton boxes, which is completely recyclable. The corrugated fiberboard boxes is completely recyclable. Yes, please.
So, for all of these packaging materials, the machinery for, let's say, if the VPC needs to kind of deploy, what are we kind of talking about in terms of the investment that's needed, even if it's a single material?
No, see, the thing is like we have various filling systems. See, we have to source the material from somebody, we have to buy the bottles, and we need to set up a filling systems. We have bottle filling system separately. We have suppose if we have a product in a powder form or a snack product or something which can be filled in the pouches, then these machineries will differ. Right? Suppose if I have a form fill seal machine which is for a laminate structure, the machine is different, and for a liquid or paste kind of product, the bottle filling machine is different. Even suppose in a smaller level, I can even have a proper weighing scale and I can seal it with the help of hand sealing in the initial stage. In later on, suppose the business grows up, then what we can think about is a semi-automatic machine, form fill seal machine, which is of semi-automatic. So where you can have the weighing system automated and sealing system manually. It's a completely automatic form fill seal machines also available, but the cost will go up. The cost of the machine will go up.
Let me ask you about this. One, you said that the form fill seal machine is always a laminated product.
For the laminate structure.
So
Or even
therefore
single
it
layer.
is not recyclable.
Even single layer we can go ahead with form fill seal machine.
And what does that do to shelf life of the product? Because the multi-layer packaging is really to increase shelf life.
Exactly.
So what is the shelf life of a single layer product?
When we talk about the shelf life, the moisture gaining in a single layer material, the product will gain the moisture in a shorter time.
Is it 3 months, 6 months? Does it depend on the product?
It depends upon completely depends upon the product. But shelf life, of course, it will reduce. But now the recent advancements, recent development, what is happening is like people are working in having it multi-layer with the same material. Instead, I have a single layer LDPE. I will have LDPE, another layer of LDPE laminated to it, so that it can be easily recycled. At the same time, it is of same material. See, it's something like I have a brick wall, and to strengthen the brick wall, I am putting another brick wall, not the other wall. So in that way, we can increase the shelf life.
Do those machines exist, and how much would they cost?
Machine existence, I will have to check.
This is excellent information. This kind of thing is, how does one make something like this understood widely so that organizations are able to use it? What is the best way? Can your institute help?
Yes,
Can
sir.
your institute give a 1 or 2 day workshop on different kind of packaging, what the costs are involved, what the pros and cons are there? Is it possible to do something like that? Or are there online course thing available which can people understand that?
I think this is going to need to be tailored to the product, because I could see, you talked about bottle filling. What kinds of products go into bottles? How does that fit into the entire system? Is your VPC going to make multiple products? If it's going to make multiple products, it needs to think about multiple kinds of packaging. Some will be fit for purpose for one kind of product, one time of year. You may be using other things at other times. So if you were to take the tomato example, what are all the tomato products, what are all the kinds of packaging that would be required for tomatoes. What if a VPC said, one VPC says, I want to make tomato pickle or tomato jam, and the other one says, I'm going with only making tomato puree and tomato paste because that's the simplest processing for me.
So very correct, Gagandeep. I think you are very right. And I think we require that kind of expertise. But let's take one example and let's run through. Take tomato puree, which can be used then puree, which can then be used to cook any vegetable or anything like that. What would be the best packaging? Can we get into that? What would be the best packaging?
Sir, see, best packaging, if you see right now in the market, which is a laminated structures, plastic laminated structure and PET bottles. But I would suggest that we can go with the rigid PET bottles or metal containers. The reason is that, suppose if you take 1 rupee sachet, that 1 rupee or 2 rupee sachet, it is easily consumed and it is easily thrown. Whereas if you think about the bigger size bottles, let's say the similar example what we had here, instead if we have a bigger container which has a tomato sauce or something which is easily dispensable.
Let's talk about tomato puree. Sauce is a different. Tomato puree which is used in kitchen. So rather than directly at the time of eating, we're not talking about tomato sauce. Talk about tomato puree.
That's what we can use a PET or metal containers, rigid containers. That will give a better shelf life. At the same time, the recycling or reprocessing will become easy instead of sachets or pouches.
Sir, like I have a question, like instead of using LDPE and all other plastic material, why don't we use going up with the biodegradable plastic, where we don't need to think about the recycling thing? And what could be the effect over the packaging and that all other shelf life thing if we use the biodegradable plastic per se?
Biodegradable plastics you may be thinking as a good option, but the problem with the biodegradable plastic material or biodegradable material is high costlier than what we use. See, suppose if you get it a pouch, what we are having, maybe 50 paise, the biodegradable material will cost you 4 rupees, 3 rupees or 4 rupees. So the cost wise, it is not affordable to go with a completely biodegradable material. Instead, we can think about a higher package which can have a higher quantity of the product which can be used for a month. The complete month we can use the packaging material for one particular product, that would be a better option. That will eradicate the single use or multi-layered smaller size
Maybe
packets.
one way to think about this is if you had a higher value product where you could afford to spend more on the packaging, you could use biodegradable plastic and add that as part of your brand value.
Yeah, because like we are targeting here the upper middle class and all other, and already like if we go into the shops and all other, like people are ready to spend 1 or 2 rupees more for the biodegradable plastic rather than for taking the normal plastic.
So I think this is going to have to be costed into it's nice to have a range of options. It depends on the product and the price points. But I think for VPC to start off, I think the suggestions about using rigid plastic and metal, rigid containers, essentially is a good one. And then an upgrade maybe when you get to a higher value product with biodegradable packaging.
Of course, you can think about using biodegradable material as a secondary packagings. Secondary packaging is a good option. You can see primary packaging which has to hold the product. If you think about polylactic acid and some other biodegradable material, it is most of the cases it is water soluble and the shelf life cannot be achieved. So you can think about secondary packages instead of some plastic carry bags or something. You can use the biodegradable based material. That could be the possible option. Please.
So, like Professor mentioned about puree, taking puree as an example. You suggested that we could either go with a PET bottle or a metallic packaging,
Metal
right?
containers.
Metal containers. So if we have to, let's say, select one, just to get a sense of what kind of a cost are we talking about here, let's say with a capacity of 1 to 2 ton of packaging in a day, the machinery cost.
The cost-wise, if you see, again, the quantity you have to increase. Suppose if you put it in a sachet, maybe you may be having some 10 gram or 20 gram or pouch. In this case, you can go up to maybe 250 gram or 500 gram. So the cost can be matched in that case.
Okay, the machinery cost, how much, approximate?
Filling
Packaging machinery, how much would it cost?
Bottle filling machinery may cost about 20 lakhs. Up to 1 crore, depends upon the
Capacity.
volumes. Suppose if I wanted to produce some 100 containers filled in a single shot, then the machine cost will be very higher. Otherwise, up to about 20 lakhs, it will be the cost. Filling machineries cost, bottle fillings.
Thank you.
Sir, actually, what is the cost difference between among all these products? Machinery cost is okay, sir, but I'm asking about the packing material cost. It will, yeah, percentage to the total product, how much cost, individual product. I mean,
See,
you said about
material
packaging
cost, I can have some rough idea. Suppose if you go ahead with the LDPE or something, it may cost you somewhere around 90 rupees per kg. Or if you go with the polyesters or polyethylene terephthalate, it may go more than 200 rupees per kg.
How will you decide upon that? I mean, which packing material I can go with? I mean, bulk purchase or 100-gram packets or like that. What will be the criteria to select the packing material? It rests with the quality or anything else?
No, depends upon the product what you are going to pack. Suppose if I am thinking about packing some powder form products, then you can think about using the laminated structure what is available, or you can use the aluminum foil. Aluminum foil is one of the layer. So it's not completely aluminum foil. Some cases you may find a packages with metallization also, which will reduce the cost. Suppose if I have LDPE, metallized PET and PET. These are the combination what we use in general. So that is comparatively less cost. If you think about a PET, aluminum foil as such, and another layer of PET, the aluminum material will increase the cost. Tetra Pak and all will become higher, costlier than this because it is having more than 4 layers.
Use the microphone.
Duration of the time will also be the parameter for selecting the packaging. Like here, like we have to get it from the village level to across nearby only area. So it would be around like 1 to 2 days or less than 1 day or like 24 hours. So it gonna affect the duration of the time or the product.
Duration of the product you are saying?
Yes. I mean, like the quality of the product or the packaging.
No, see, depends upon the product. Suppose your product is going to gain the moisture and it is going to lose its shelf life, then you have to have proper moisture barrier. If it is a moisture barrier, you have to think about aluminum foil as one of the layer. That is why we still stick on to the laminated structures. There is no, that is why we are not, still it is not come up to the any thing. But the extended producer responsibility is coming up now. The government is going to impose the extended producer responsibility. Whatever you produce, at least 25% you should reprocess, and you have to get your carbon credits or whatever they say. Now the CPE, the Central Pollution Control Board, they have created a portal for this. Each and every producer or brand owners or the users of the packaging material which is made out of plastic, they have to enroll. Then they have to show how much material they are using it and how much material they are reprocessing it. That has to be, that is becoming mandatory. I think from April it will come.
I think that's been really useful. Where we've landed is, one, we are going to have a workshop that looks specifically at packaging, and that will be very product dependent. What is your input material? What are the products that you want to get out of that? What the scale is going to be, because that is going to depend on which materials you use and also on the price that you can, how much as a proportion of your price that will add to your product. What I'd like to hear about finally is just a little bit from Mr. Pandiyaraja, because you raised a very interesting point that when we think about this model, you've got your FPO that's gathering the material. You have your village processing center. Does packaging have to be there, or can packaging be across 3 VPCs? If that is the case, and I think again the model will differ based on what your product is, what would the testing of such materials be? Do you test in the process of making? Do you test right at the end?
Madam, actually the village processing center, first of all, they have to obtain the license. So the the license is issued for the every premises, not for the any particular firm name. So every premises shall have to obtain the license. License cost fees is central license 7,500 rupees, state license 2,500 rupees. It is all available in the website. But in my opinion, they can go for registration. Registration is also there. Registration 100 rupees per year. So this is completely online process. First of all, the premises shall have to obtain the license under the FSSAI Act. This is number one. And the layout, the particular village processing center, the particular premises, the layout, the machinery setup, the completely the inside roof, floor, everything, they shall have to set up as per the Schedule 4 of the Food Safety Standard Licensing Registration Regulations. This is the second point. Number third point, and every licensed unit shall have one technical person. Technical person need not be a food technologist, need not be BTech or BSc. Any diploma holder is also sufficient. Or if they are having any basic qualification, we are providing the fast track certification, food safety training and certification. That is an online model only. So they can register in the online, and based on the periodically we can go for the training. That is another point. So please. It need not.
Once in 15 days,
Yes, sir.
once in a week,
Yes, sir.
is that acceptable?
Yes, sir. It need not be full time. It need not be full time because the registration category full time technologies is not required, and the full time technology is not required. Based on the fast track, they can go for training and certification. This is another angle. And whatever the products they are manufacturing, the product shall be in compliance with the food product standard food additive regulations. So, and another thing, food product standard food additive regulation, this is one regulation. Another regulation is contaminant toxin residues regulation. Suppose one jam is produced and jam is available in the market, the food safety officer is drawing the sample and it is tested. If there is some pesticide residues are more than the particular limit, it will be considered as unsafe. So every product, whatever produced in the village processing center or any licensed premises, registered premises, shall comply as per the regulations. That's what I have told, that this is very important thing. So they have, and the label, madam was asking about label doubt. The label shall be as per the regulations. We are having two regulations, labeling and display regulations. So every product, what are the parameter to be displayed in the retail pack, wholesale pack, everything, there is a fixed regulations are there. So we have to go for this regulation. And advertisement claims regulations. Suppose any false claims shall not be made.
No,
so
no,
any
Mr.
claim.
Pandiyaraja, I think we'll get that. Yeah.
Very important
These.
things, and I think it's okay. I am wondering now, when we are talking about large number of BBC,
Yes, sir.
every village having or every group of village, how much can simple image processing be used for quality control? Is there any work going on? Can we do remote image processing to ensure quality? This is important both for the franchisor who has to ensure that the quality is there, and also for the regulators who have to ensure that the quality is being done. How much can image processing be used?
Okay, hang on a minute. Okay. I think this is an interesting idea, but what I wanted to ask, which you can put into your answer for this, is when you look at quality, does the FSSAI actively go out to every registered premise and check it out, check out its products? If they do, with what frequency? Is there a fee associated with that? Yes. Or do you just do random checking of products in the market? And then you can address Professor's question.
So actually regarding the quality, every product shall be as per the regulation. This is number 1 point. Number 2 point, as per the regulation, licensing registration regulation, every food business operator shall have to test the product as per the regulation, and he has to keep the record in his premises. And the authority, either state government, FSSAI or state food authority, will not go every premises and draw the sample regularly. They will not go because the objective of the Food Safety Standards Act itself is a self-compliance. Because government cannot be a 24 hours watchdog in any of the premises. It is not at all possible in any country. So the main motto objective of the Food Safety Standards Act is self-compliance only. So based on this is the objective, and moreover, if any quality parameter is observed and any non-compliance in layout is observed, first of all, the improvement notice will be served. So it is not a regularly going and that is a old time. Now the scenario has changed. We have to issue the improvement notice, and we have to give the time. We have to advise. We have to enable them to go for self-compliance. That is a very important point. Enabling for self-compliance is the main motto of the, because in our country 130 crore population is there. More than 5 crore food business operators are expected, and only 50,000 employees are there. It is not possible to go everywhere checking.
Okay,
And-
that's clear. Professor's answer, and then we have 2 final questions in the room.
And one more thing I want to add, quality testing. Regarding quality testing, we are having the FSSAI is having the notified laboratories, more than 300 laboratories all over the country. So it is the list of laboratories is available in the website. So any person can go and take the nearest laboratory, and he can send his product himself and test it. That is for his information, he can do it. That is provision is also available, and testing charges is also available in the website. Drug inspectors.
Check the quality. Randomly, they can go and inspect any pharmacy or any stock place or any storage place, and they can take samples and they can test verify whether the quality is as per the label specification. Similarly, there is a fertilizer inspector, there is a seed inspector. So to look after the quality control aspect,
Yeah.
I mean, for seed, law enforcement. But here it is being a food material coming under the Essential Commodity Act. You are just giving testing and giving certification alone.
No, sir.
We are
For
not
issuance of license or registration, no need for any pre-inspections. There is a specific order by the Food Safety Standards Authority of India to all state governments for issuance of license. There is no need for licensing. Now the licensing is completely made online format, number 1. Number 2 is no need for physical certification. No need for signature, everything. Once the license is generated, automatically the person can
sir,
go and
it's
take
given,
the state. That's all.
then how you are, controlling the quality of the product, being offered for sale.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Or offered for storage.
Yeah.
So in that, who will check the quality of that?
This is the random checking only, sir.
Yeah,
Because
random checking. Is there any, as Madam suggested?
there is no any fixed rules that this particular time it has to be done. It's
Yes,
not
yes,
like that.
no, it's not like that. It's a random. You have to, of course, supposed to inspect without any notice only. So notice only, you have to go and take random samples, and we have to check the
Yes, sir.
quality.
Actually, I will answer. We have to intimate before inspection. Before inspection, we have to intimate. Unless and until some food safety emergency is involved. Other times, there is a specific order by authority to all food safety officers and designated officers, licensing authorities. We have to keep them informed before going for inspection. That is the thing.
Okay.
Last question.
Sir,
Thank you.
so my question.
No, there are, okay.
Yeah, my
2 more.
question-
So hang on a minute. She's been waiting a long time.
So our model is 10x rural income and having a quality product. And Ponkumar sir has mentioned that the cost of packaging machineries can go from 20 lakhs to 1 crore. But at one point you have also mentioned about semi-automatic and manual packaging methods as well. So my question to Pandiyarajan sir would be that if we want to involve, because the processing unit will be in a village, and if we want to engage labor packaging, but then the question would be the hygiene, right? So is there any standard training protocols that we can train, say, 5 women who can add to the packaging and do it manually, ensuring that the quality, they get the proper training to pack the product? So is there any training availabilities for women?
Yeah, actually, I will answer this question. Here 2 premises are involved. Number one is premises one is manufacturing and they are bringing one product that is intermediate, not for direct human consumption, and the particular product is going to another premises too. They are doing packaging, processing, further processing and packaging. So the first premises has to get the license for intermediate product, not as a finished good, and second unit will be getting for finished good product. So two premises shall have to take the license, and when you are transporting, this is your responsibility to ensure that there is no cross contamination. There is no cross contamination because it is a food commodity. There is no cross contamination. That point you have to ensure. That is the answer.
Last question.
Sir, my question is to increase this shelf life of the tomato puree, or what are all the allowable ingredients we can add at low cost at the village level, VPC level?
Yeah, actually, in any product, in food product standard, food product standard, food additive regulation, there is a specific regulation number is there. So under the regulation number, what are all the permitted ingredients, permitted additives are mentioned. And in food product standard regulation, there is one annexure called Appendix A, which is stating about what are all the additives permitted for every food category, and the limitations are mentioned. So accordingly, you have to use the additives and ingredients as per this regulation only, and within the limitation. And these limitations are based on the codex and our internal scientific committee and evaluations only. So you have to use up to particular level only, and shelf life you have to give as per your own risk. Means shelf life can be affected by any means, by transport, by packaging material, or during processing, or the microbial contamination. Any means it will be there. So this is the shelf life is the decision of the manufacturer only. So you can give 6 months also and 12 months also based on your addition of preservatives or aseptic packaging material or aseptic processing. Based on the processing and packaging, the shelf life is differing. So this is your responsibility to fix the shelf life. But the additives shall be as per the Appendix A of Food Product Standard Food Additive Regulations only.
Thank you very much. It's always, when we spoke in the morning, it was about multiple stakeholders, and quality and packaging are key components of the ecosystem that needs to be built. Final comments from Professor Ashok.
No, I think not the comments. I wanted to thank Gagandeep, and this is a very important session, and we have two excellent people who understand, who know a lot about whatever I saw, both on packaging and quality. Both are extremely critical, because we mess up quality, we cannot do this. Whole thing fails. We mess up packaging, and packaging is, as was pointed out, very specific to a specific item. What kind of things can be done? What is the shelf life that we want? What is the cost? So there is a very critical, and it has to be custom designed. We can't do at a general level, and I think you have given very good input. The interaction was very good. However, I want to end by something different. Why in today's world, if you want to really scale up, we have to think differently. I'll take an example. So, madam, can you sit down? Or Daro, you want to say something? Huh? Okay. Please sit down. Very, very interesting. There is a company here in Chennai which today makes 300 million cell phone chargers and supplies it to all the world. They will actually increase to 1.5 billion cell phone charger per year. Today they make 300 million. That means 1 million cell phone chargers. All of us use cell phone chargers, or most of our cell phone chargers are made here in Chennai. The cost that the factory gets is very little. What the others charges you is different. They actually make it at 200 rupees, 150 rupees, 100 rupees. That's all the cost is. The reputation of this company is not one charger out of not 300 million, in 5 years, not one charger should fail. In life of 5 years. So essentially, they have to ensure that each of the 300 million charger every year is inspected, every aspect is inspected and captured. In fact, when they hear of one charger failing anywhere in the world, because the charger would have, they would trace it back and try to figure out what went wrong. I saw the whole process. The cost of doing this, the limit was 3 rupees per charge. That's all. We cannot spend more than 3 rupees, because finally the sell price is only 150 rupees or 120 rupees. You can't spend more than 3 rupees. And they have done tremendous automation. All the cost of automation, their recording and machinery cost, everything inclusive, its interest, depreciation, all of that has to be done within that 3 rupees. That's the beauty. And I think they are using all kinds of technology. Similar to somewhat, they of course monitor every part. Every time a pin is made, every time they take photographs, and they take recording, so everything is automated. Now, if we are talking about doing something at scale, like what we are talking about, we may have to do a lot of automation, because finally the brand who will put a franchisee in the village, if one thing goes wrong, the brand will get impacted. I think the regulators and the government seems to have done the right thing of sort of saying it will largely be self-regulation, and they would have defined everything. And including what preservatives to be added, not added, everything seems to be done. But we have a lot to learn that how to do scaled manufacturing at lowest possible cost. Because if we add a lot of cost, then we will lose. If we don't do scaled manufacturing, we will lose. And that's what the challenge for the VPC will be. The VPC will be therefore one of the most small but most modern setup, with all kind of sophistication without increasing the cost. And I think that will be the challenge of us technologists, and by learning from these gentlemen, we'll be able to do that. Thank you for excellent this thing, and I think this is very valuable for our model to go forward. Thank you.